Rainollon here. Today is another build showcase, and it's Kuva Sobek Acid Shells. It's a very unique build, and only Saryn can make this thing work. No other Warframe can make it work, only Saryn can, so that's something very important you should know. So let us immediately start. First things first, I'm going to spawn enemies to show you really quick how the clear is. So I'm going to spawn level 200, Steel Path, or Competitive Group dudes, spawn them right in. I will use Toxin Lash and Rainollon to buff my Sobek and to help me with clear. So I'm going to shoot this Butcher like this, and I'm going to... Yeah, everything is dead. Give me a second. Something is wrong here. Let me give me a second. 1 second. Alright, I'm going to shoot this Butcher, and then after that Butcher, I'm going to shoot this Butcher. So, I'm trying, guys. I'm freaking trying, alright? Alright, I'm going to shoot this Bombard. There we go. Alright, it's time for me to show you the build. So let's start with the build. The mods I'm using on my Kuva Sobek and what makes this weapon a ridiculous clear machine. So let's start with the mods. Kuva Sobek. So the mods I'm using is Clip Delegation, which is the exclusive mod for Kuva Sobek. What it does is when you shoot your gun, you waste ammo. The moment you reload, you're going to get like a massive critical chance, not critical chance, stash chance, and multi-shot for the entire clip. So you're going to have like at max stacks 225 stash chance and 225 multi-shot, which is going to help you a lot for clearing and doing a lot of single target DPSing. Galvanized Chevy for stash chance and direct damage per stash on a target, so you can kill enemies very fast. Galvanized Hell for multi-shot, even more multi-shot. Contagion Spread, what it does, it gives you a flat 90 toxin damage. This is here to just help Toxin Lash scale even more. So you're going to do even more damage with Toxin, which is Toxin Lash is going to do even more damage, spreading the Toxin everywhere with Acid Shells. And I'm very close to show you Acid Shells. Toxin Barrage, Toxin and Stash Chance. This will give us even more Toxin damage, the flat Toxin, to make our Toxin Lash do even more damage, spreading everywhere. And also Stash Chance, so we can proc a bunch of elements on enemies to kill them as soon as we can to get the detonation. Shotgun Elementalist, plus 9% status damage. This is very important, so we're going to be scaling Toxin damage with Toxin Lash, so that Toxin Lash will do 90% more multiplicative damage increase with status damages, and Toxin is a status damage. And also 60% magazine capacity, so it has even bigger magazine capacity. A Prime Cleanse of the Arcane. So this is a Bane mod. You're going to use a Bane mod in a specific faction. Corpus against Corpus, Ganir against the Ganir, Arcane against the Arcane. It's a multiplicative with Toxin Lash. It's a double dipper or into a triple dipper, which is a bunch of multipliers on top of multipliers on top of multipliers. And yeah, this is very important. You don't really need to use it, but if you want to do even more damage, have a much more satisfying clear, I will highly recommend. And the main mod, Acid Shells. Enemies explode on death, dealing 450 flat damage as a corrosion damage, and plus 45 enemies maximum health in a 15-meter radius. So how does this entire setup work? So you kill an enemy, and that enemy will do 450 flat damage in a small radius, and the damage it does is non-existent to any other Warframe except for Saryn. So Saryn's third ability, Toxin Lash, any damage that an enemy takes with a weapon or mod will apply Toxin. So what we are doing here exactly is we are scaling Toxin as much as we can. So we are scaling Toxin with more status damage, with a Cleanse mod for more multiplicative, with more Toxin damage, and we also have a large amount of multi-shot and stash chance, so we can kill enemies as soon as we can to proc Acid Shells for our beautiful clear. So this mod itself is a very old mod that not a single Warframe can utilize except for Saryn. So it's a massive shame. Saryn is the only one, but we are not really using Acid Shells as the main source of our clear. We're using Toxin Lash, which is the one who is spreading everywhere Toxin in a 50-meter radius when we kill an enemy. So that's like one very important thing. So you kind of have to play Saryn with Toxin Lash on. Rainollon is also going to give you that amazing like boost and increased damage, and your clear is just going to be disgusting. And against low level missions it's overkill. Against like level 150 it's overkill, which is majority of high level content. Against like level 200, which is one of the highest level content right now, it's also like overkill. And against EDA, which is like the highest, number one highest content in the game, which is against level 400s, they also die in like really fast, and you spread toxin everywhere, and it's kind of disgusting. So that's the mod setup. That's how it works. I think I explained everything I could to give you an idea. I'm going to still show you even more in the simulacrum. And for the Exos Weapon Adapter slot mods, I will pretty much not recommend anything. There's nothing here important that will help you with clear. For the Arcane Primary Blight, because we're using Saryn and we have Toxin, and Saryn third ability gives us Toxin. On Toxin status effect, we get critical damage and multi-shot. This just exists to pretty much help us with clear. That's it. So that's the Arcane. For the stats here, because this is a Kuva weapon, we're going to kill a Kuva Lich. So the element I chose when I killed a Kuva Lich is Toxin. This is a flat Toxin, so this will help with Toxin Lash for Toxin to do even more damage in a large radius when Acid Shells triggers on kill. So this flat, this flat, this flat, there's a lot of flat Toxin here. Fire rate is absolutely fine for this weapon type. Multi-shot, plenty of multi-shot here. Multi-shot from this, multi-shot from this, and this. You're going to shoot a bunch of projectiles. Reload is very fast. Accuracy is medium. It's a shotgun. Automatic, trigger. Ribbon display is horrible. Fall off, it's a shotgun. Critical chance is slightly above average, but we are not going to focus on it on this build. Crit multi is also above average. We are not going to focus on it on this build. Stat chance is good, and total damage is solid. So those are the stats. Those are the mods. The Arcane. Time for me to show you Saryn. So one very important thing to have on Saryn is not the mod setup. It's not the shard setup. It's you pressing your third ability. Doesn't matter how much ability strength you have. You can have like 15 negative ability strength or slightly above 100% ability strength. You just have to turn on Toxin Lash. And for the fourth ability, it's, I will say, mandatory for high level content. It's Roar. So Roar will give you a huge amount of increased damage. This increased damage does scale with Toxin Lash Toxin. So your Toxin Lash Toxin with all the multiplicatives and multipliers will just skyrocket. And you saw the clear against level 200. They just disappear just by me shooting one butcher. And yeah, it's like these two, you must have them always on just for clear. And yeah, that's the most important stuff here. So that's Kuva Sobek. That's Saryn. Sadly, like I said, Saryn's the only one that can make this thing work. But one very nice thing about it, I also kind of like it because not every Warframe can utilize everything. It's kind of nice to have something that is like unique for a specific Warframe, and I like this a lot. Uniqueness is like important in video games for me personally. Makes games like last longer and more interesting rather than everything does everything the same and nothing is special. So now, yet again, I'm going to unpause these enemies, make myself invincible, spawn level 200 Steel Path or Kimberly Group Dudes, press Toxin Lash, Rainollon, shoot this guy, spreads, there we go. As you can see, the AoE is quite high. So I killed that guy over here and went all the way up there. Yeah, and again, shoot that guy. Yep. There is no chance. They're not surviving. Nothing in this game right now will not survive this. So now I'm going to spawn, like, for example, Corpus units. Corpus hates Toxin. They bypasses the shield. It bypasses the shield, and yeah, it just one-taps the Corpus. The most satisfying chain reaction with Saryn Toxin Lash Acid Shells is against Corpus. You're going to see like 50 Corpus units. You shoot one and everything explodes. It's like hella satisfying. Look at this, it's like ridiculous. The whole interaction with this is just hella fun. It's one of the most interesting, unique interactions in this game, I will say. Against the Gunir, which are just a weaker Arcane. Rainollon, Toxin Lash, shoot the Butcher, everything's dead. So that's Corpus, Ganir, Arcane. Now I'm going to show you against more enemies. Spawn them in. Shoot this guy, spreads. And more enemies also dead. Now I'm going to show you against the infested. Spawn in the infested enemies. Shoot this guy. Oh, there we go. Everything is dead. So pretty much every faction is just going to get annihilated. For like 99% of the content, you can easily do Saryn Sobek. You can easily clear and do all of it. Sobek, even if we are focusing only on Toxin, Saryn has so much powerful buffs, Rhinor's Roar, Toxin Lash, and you can even use her first abilities Augment, Venom Dose to give yourself corrosion damage. You can easily use it as a single target DPSer and you will do just fine. So that's Kuva Sobek, Saryn build setup. It only works with Saryn, like I said. It's a shame, but at the same time it's very cool. It's a very powerful synergy, I will highly recommend. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the build. Thank you everybody for watching. Leave a like, sub, and see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.